Beloved, you're not reading this by accident. In fact, heaven had to rearrange a few things just so this message could finally reach you. And Archangel Michael, yes, Michael himself, just whispered your name before you arrived. He's been pacing, watching, waiting for you to finally open this one because you're the only person alive who's been chosen to see this. Only you. Someone in heaven knows you've been ignoring your own signs lately. But God hasn't. He's seen every tear you didn't show. And now something is about to happen in the next 7 hours. And if you skip this, you won't know how to stop it or how to receive what's secretly coming. That's why Archangel Michael says, don't tell anyone. This was not meant for many. This was meant for the one, and that is you. Do you feel it in your chest? That slight pressure, that small thud in your spirit that says, wait, something's here. That's not anxiety. That's heaven tapping on the window of your soul. Because what's coming is already on its way. And yet, Michael is still worried. He keeps looking down from the heavens, hoping you don't skip this one, too. Because if you do, what happens next may break you or bless you. That's the decision you're making right now just by staying. You've always been the one people overlooked, the one they doubted, the one they judged until something strange began to follow you. And now God is saying, my child, tell them not to ignore this. This isn't a coincidence. This is me. Michael said, Father, I begged for this to be delivered. Please don't let them ignore it. Don't let them miss the message that could protect their soul, their family, their house. And God replied, if they stay, I will protect them. But if they skip it again, they will not know why they cried 7 hours later. And the clock has already started ticking. Cloud sparkles. Midway through this message, a heavenly instruction will be given to you. When it comes, listen. It won't sound like a command. It will feel like a whisper, like a warm breeze brushing your skin, even if you're indoors. But it will be clear. And if you follow it, something miraculous will begin to unfold within 7 hours. That's not a metaphor. That's a divine calculation. Michael said, tell them. Tell them I didn't sleep for 2 nights. I kept watching over their dreams, but they didn't know it was me. And tonight, beloved, he's watching again. And what he sees is dangerous. There's a decision someone around you is about to make, and it could change your whole life without even asking your permission. But this message is your only shield. Please don't skip. This is more serious than you realize. Love letter sparkles. A gentle reminder. If this message is touching your spirit right now, it means heaven is trying to get your attention. Subscribe below if you'd like more direct messages like this from Archangel Michael, because what's coming next may not be written again. Now, let me tell you something very few are allowed to know. There's a woman, yes, a woman who has been quietly observing you for weeks. You don't know it yet, but she's carrying information about your life that you were never meant to find out. Not until now, Michael said. This is the hour they must be warned, because if they find out too late, the damage will already be done. She knows something about you, something sacred. And if this message had not found you now, you might have gone your whole life being robbed by someone smiling in your face. But beloved, not anymore. Heaven won't let that happen. That's why you've been feeling strange these past few days. Those odd dreams, those unexplainable delays, those moments where your phone glitched, your memory paused, your heart suddenly felt like it remembered something, but you couldn't explain what. That wasn't random. That was God breaking the veil. And tonight, the veil between heaven and earth is thinner than ever. Which is why Michael says only they must see this, only this soul, only this spirit. And they must not speak of this to anyone, not even those they trust. Because sometimes the people you trust are the very ones the enemy is using. There is a divine reason you found this message. In exactly 7 hours, 2 things will begin to shift. One will be visible. One will be hidden. The visible one will look like chaos, but it's actually a setup. The hidden one will seem like peace, but it's actually a trap. And only by listening to this message will you know which one to trust and which one to run from. Because they will both come disguised as answers to your prayer. Yes, your exact prayer. Heaven heard the prayer you whispered late one night. The one you cried into your pillow thinking no one could hear. But God did. Michael did. And they're not just answering it, they're preparing you for what comes right after the answer. Because sometimes the enemy sends his own version of a blessing, hoping you mistake it for God's. But child, you weren't born to be tricked anymore. You weren't born to be played with. You weren't born to spend your whole life being tested without ever being rewarded. That's why this message was sent. Because now is the time for your reward. But first comes the test. And only by reading this message to the end will you know how to pass it. Michael says you will be approached either by message, by call, or by someone knocking. And when it happens, your spirit will feel 2 things, fear and fire. One is false, one is from God. But the enemy is cunning, child. The enemy knows how to imitate light. That's why you must feel the message in your spirit, not just read it with your eyes. Because only the soul can tell when something is divine. Now breathe. Heaven is preparing you for something. You're going to feel something strange over the next few minutes as you continue reading. For some, it might be chills. For others, a flicker of light or a sudden memory flashing. For you, it will feel like someone invisible just sat beside you. That's not imagination. That's Michael arriving. He said he'd wait 7 hours before acting, but he wanted to give you this warning first. Beloved, you've been fighting things no one sees. Carrying wounds no one has honored. Holding your breath in a world that never noticed you were suffocating, but God noticed. Heaven noticed. That's why this message was delayed for 48 hours and finally released to you now, because the 7-hour countdown has begun. And if you stay, you'll know what to do when the door opens. And my child, when heaven opens a door, it also gives you clear steps so you can walk through it with faith, peace, and direction instead of fear. My child, I see the struggle you have been facing, the stress about finances, the silent worries that stay in your heart, and the moments where you feel uncertain about what comes next. You have been asking for peace, and that answer is already on its way. You are not meant to stay stuck in fear, you are meant to walk forward with purpose, with faith, and with clear steps every day. That is why a simple system has been placed in front of you, a 30-day faith and financial breakthrough system, a path where each day brings you a focused prayer, a small financial action, and clear direction to help you move ahead. No pressure, no confusion, just steady progress toward peace and stability. If something inside you feels ready, if you are ready to change your situation, take that first step today. This could be the moment your life begins to change. You will find the link in the description, and in the comments below. Because the door that opens next is not only about receiving a miracle, it is about learning how to walk forward with peace, wisdom, and steady faith. Let me ask you something personal. Have you noticed how often people walk away when you get close to something good? Have you noticed how often things fall apart right before they're about to work? That's not just bad luck. That's not just timing. That's spiritual interference. Because your destiny is heavier than you realize. You were meant to walk in miracles. You were meant to restore broken families. You were meant to lift others out of spiritual cages they didn't even know they were trapped in. And the enemy knows this. That's why distraction has been your biggest enemy. But now you're about to be refocused. And everything that was meant to steal your attention, your peace, your clarity is about to vanish. Only if you stay with this message. Only if you obey the whisper when it comes. And only if you remember this was never meant to be shared. Because the divine works in secret and miracles begin in silence. Do not doubt the words that are being placed in your heart right now. Michael said, they will question it. They will think they're imagining it, but I will confirm it before the 7th hour strikes. They will know it was me. And now heaven is asking something from you. One small act. But this act is the trigger. This is the action that tells God, I'm ready. Not just ready to be protected, but ready to receive. Are you ready to receive what you were denied for years? Are you ready to walk into what others thought you'd never live to see? Are you ready for justice that doesn't make sense but still shows up? Then hear this and act. God says, write down these 3 words. Speak them softly. Repeat them before you go to sleep tonight and watch the next 7 hours unfold. And the words are reveal, reverse, restore. That's your code. That's your heavenly passport. Write them now. Even if it feels silly, even if your mind resists, do it anyway because your spirit knows this isn't a game. And tonight is not like every other night. When you whispered those 3 words, reveal, reverse, restore, something shifted in the atmosphere. Heaven stood still. Michael closed his eyes. And your name was written into something sacred. Because those 3 words are not just prayers. They are keys. And the moment you spoke them, a locked door in the spirit realm opened. One that has been closed for years. One that was blocked by someone who didn't want to see you rise. But child, listen carefully. No one can block what God has marked as yours. Someone you know is going to feel uncomfortable around you after this. It's not coincidence. It's not paranoia. It's revelation. Because the truth is they were never meant to stay. And for years they've been feeding on your delay. Your kindness blinded you. But God says now is not the time to be polite. Now is the time to be prophetic. You are stepping into a divine confrontation. But don't be afraid because you're not stepping in alone. Michael has been granted authority to walk beside you, to war for you, to guard your next 7 hours like a lion. And not just that, he's been told to cancel a spiritual hit that was ordered on your destiny by someone who secretly doesn't want you to be happy. Yes, you read that correctly. Someone you loved spoke your name in darkness and because of their jealousy, confusion was released into your path. That's why things that should have worked out kept falling apart. But now, because you stayed with this message, the curse is broken. And if you keep reading, Michael will show you who it was. You've always felt something off. Your spirit has always had strong intuition, but no one validated it. People told you to calm down, to stop overthinking. But Michael says they weren't wrong. They were covering it up. You were never imagining it. You were being spiritually attacked silently. But tonight is your reversal. Tonight, the same energy that was sent to bind you will bounce back. Tonight, your name will be spoken in heaven's court. And this time, not in sorrow, but in victory. But there's one thing you must do. Don't speak this aloud to anyone until the 7 hours are over. Not even the people who love you. Because some of the people who love you are actually carrying the very delay that's been following you. God said their breakthrough is hidden in their silence. So say nothing. Just watch. You'll know when the 7 hours are complete. Something will happen visibly or internally that feels like the atmosphere cracking open. It might be a ringing in your ears, a shiver across your skin, or even a deep sudden breath your body takes on its own. And when it happens, you'll know. That was heaven confirming you passed the test. Michael says you may even dream tonight. And if you do, write it down. Even if it makes no sense, because in the coming days that dream will unfold exactly the way it appeared. That's the level of accuracy heaven is operating in now. You're not being prepared for something small. You're being prepared for a miracle so rare hell has already tried to cancel it 3 times, but it failed because you're still here. Because you didn't skip this message. Because something inside you said, wait, something about this feels real. That something, that was your spirit waking up. And now that it's awake, it cannot go back to sleep. Do you feel it? That strange warmth as if something is wrapping around you. That's not fiction. That's Archangel Michael placing his wing over your household. Because yes, something was scheduled to happen in your house tonight. Something not good. But now it's cancelled. Yes, cancelled because you listened, because you stayed, because you obeyed a whisper when everyone else would have ignored it. There's a very small list of people in the world who are being handed this exact opportunity right now, and you're one of them. A divine transaction is unfolding even now as you read this. Your name is being whispered before angels, and God is watching closely to see will they honor this message or will they skip it like the others. Because what happens in the next 7 hours is not just about what you'll gain. It's about what will finally be removed, every spiritual leech, every confusing voice, every manipulative tie, every evil delay, every curse from past generations, every mistake trying to follow you. It will all be lifted, broken, cleansed, erased. But only if you stay and only if you follow the next instruction. Michael says, go to a quiet place. Lay your hand over your heart. Speak these words. Heaven, I'm ready. And then be still for 1 full minute. That minute will open a window in the spirit realm. And once it's open, what was hidden shall be revealed. What was delayed shall be released. What was stolen shall be returned. Child, you've never been closer to your breakthrough than you are right now. Michael is crying, not tears of sadness, but of release. He's waited so long for you to finally hear this. And now the final chapter is about to begin. Michael said they have no idea how rare this moment is. No idea what could be lost if they don't follow through. Because now it's no longer about what's coming. It's about what's already here. Yes, already here. Somewhere near you right now, whether in physical space, spiritual realm, or emotional energy, a shift is happening. It might feel small, a flickering of peace, a sudden breeze with no wind, a sudden stillness that wraps around your chest. That's Michael. That's your moment arriving. But beloved, it's disguised. Heaven always sends the greatest miracles in the most ordinary packages. That's why this next part is so important, because what shows up may not look like what you imagined. It may not feel spiritual. It may not even seem connected to anything. But if your spirit is tuned, you'll feel it. You'll know this is the moment. Now, here's the truth. Few ever hear in time. In the next 7 hours, someone will mention something that seems casual. A sentence, a question, an offer, a delay, a nudge, a coincidence. It could come through a phone call, a knock, a text, a glitch, a silence, even an old photo. But Michael says it will be your moment. If you respond in fear, you'll delay what's meant for you again. If you respond in trust, you'll step into the beginning of your answered prayer. This is spiritual war disguised as a natural decision. That's why you were told to open this message. That's why it was sealed for you and you alone. Beloved, your miracle doesn't need to be created. It's already been prepared. It just needs you to align. And alignment doesn't mean perfection. It means obedience, not to rules, but to the soft, unmistakable nudge of heaven. Michael says, even now, their energy is changing. Even now, the chains are loosening. And if you could only see what's breaking off of you right now, you'd cry. Not out of sadness, but out of finally being seen, because you've been strong for too long. You've carried secrets that were never meant to be yours. You've apologized when others should have begged for your forgiveness. You've dimmed your light to keep others comfortable, but no more because heaven is done letting people take advantage of the divine within you. And now it's your turn to be flooded with grace. Now it's your turn to receive. Not because you begged, but because you were chosen. And there's something else you need to hear. Michael says they were never late. Everything they've been through, every delay, heartbreak, betrayal was perfectly aligned for this hour. And God agrees. God says, I was never punishing them. I was positioning them. And beloved, you've been positioned perfectly. Now heaven is watching. Will you follow through? Will you stay obedient for just 7 more hours? Will you listen when the whisper comes? Because what happens in your sleep tonight will ripple into your next 7 months. Yes, 7 months. Over the next 7 months, you will see unexpected financial reversals, a divine reconnection. You will see unexpected financial reversals, a divine reconnection that no one could have predicted, justice delivered to someone who wronged you in silence, a letter or message from someone who vanished but finally wants to tell you the truth, and most importantly, a deep, unshakable peace, the kind you've never felt before. And my child, when heaven begins releasing financial reversal and peace into your life, it also gives you a clear path so you can walk forward with faith, wisdom, and daily direction. My child, I see the weight you have been carrying. The quiet worries about money, the stress you rarely speak about, the nights when your mind refuses to rest. You have been praying for peace, and your prayers have been heard. You are not meant to walk this journey in confusion and fear. You are meant to walk with faith, with clarity, and with daily direction. That is why a simple path has been placed before you, a 30-day faith and financial breakthrough system. Each day you will be guided with a gentle prayer, a simple money step, and clear direction to help you regain control. Nothing overwhelming, nothing complicated. Just small faithful steps leading you toward peace and stability. If your heart feels ready, begin today. Do not delay this moment. The link is in the description and in the comments below. Because what heaven releases over you is not only meant to be received, it is meant to be carried with peace, obedience, and steady faith. And it will all trace back to this moment, to this message, to the moment you chose not to skip, not to doubt, not to close the window. And now, one final instruction. Go to a mirror. Look into your own eyes, not your face, not your features, your eyes, and say this. I forgive myself. I release the weight. I am ready. Heaven, do what only you can do. And then smile. Even if you cry. Even if your hands shake. Even if it feels silly. Because that smile. It's not just for you. It's a sign to heaven. I believe again. Michael is watching. He'll be guarding you for the next 7 hours with sword drawn, wings open, heart full. Heaven will walk with you closely, gently, loudly in the way only silence can be loud, and you will feel it. This is your appointed time. Don't rush. Don't speak of it yet. Just receive. And as the final hour approaches, one last whisper will come. When it does, promise us this. Don't skip it. Don't second guess it. Don't tell anyone. Just do it. Because heaven's secret miracle for you is already in motion. Hourglass not done, and the countdown continues. May Archangel Michael bless every breath you take from this moment on. Close your eyes, not in fear, but in faith. Because right now, as these final words are read, your angels are standing still in a line, quiet, focused, and holding something in their hands. They are carrying documents. Yes, spiritual documents. And one of them has your name written in golden fire. Michael steps forward. He looks at the Father and says, "They stayed," and heaven smiles because, child, what's coming next is too big to be missed. And now that you've obeyed without needing proof, without needing to understand, heaven will respond without delay. God doesn't delay when He's honored. And tonight you honored Him by trusting a divine message when everyone else would have skipped it. There's one final thing you need to know, and this is not a metaphor. Tonight your house will be visited. Not by fear, not by darkness, but by a presence so pure, so still, so powerful, you may feel the air change. It won't knock. It won't shout. It will hover softly with weightless warmth, a breeze with no wind, a presence with no footsteps. But you'll know. And when it arrives, don't speak. Don't move. Just listen. Your spirit will hear what your ears cannot. And beloved, those words will stay with you for the rest of your life. Because this is no ordinary moment. This is what heaven calls an appointment of fire, a holy reset, sealed with angelic oil carved into your timeline before you were even born. And now it's fulfilled. All that's left is to breathe. To say softly in your spirit, Amen. To let your tears fall if they come. To hold your heart gently and say, it's safe to believe again. Michael is no longer crying. He's smiling. He says to tell you this. Thank you for listening. Thank you for trusting me, and thank you for not skipping, because now finally I can protect what I was always assigned to guard your destiny. And God whispers as heaven begins to shift. Well done, my child. I am with you. The battle is over and the blessing has begun. Let no one steal your peace after this. Let no one talk you out of what you now know is real. You are not crazy. You are not cursed. You are not forgotten. You are chosen. And tonight that choosing became complete. Go softly into the night. Rest your spirit. Cover your room with the words you now know. Reveal. Reverse. Restore. Heaven heard you. Michael saw you. And the next 7 hours will speak louder than any sermon, any psychic, any fear, any lie. Because God is not just watching. He is moving. Your miracle is now. And it will not pass you. And even though the message has ended, the movement of heaven around your life has only just begun. You may not feel it instantly, but trust the moment you read those final lines, something began to shift. Not in the sky, not in the stars, but deep within you. And the world around you will start responding to that shift in ways you could never plan, predict, or explain. Right now, somewhere in the unseen realm, angels are already rearranging certain things for you. Someone who once forgot you will suddenly remember you. A delay that frustrated you last week will suddenly work in your favor. A random no from yesterday will become a surprising yes tomorrow. This is how miracles often arrive quietly, almost shyly. Not to impress but to transform. You may feel emotional. That's good. That means your soul was listening too. When God speaks, the body stays still, but the soul begins to rise. So if your heart feels lighter, if your chest feels warmer, if your hands are trembling a little, it's not fear. That's release. The chains have broken. The spiritual waiting room is now empty. It's time. And I know a part of you still wonders, was this really for me? But Michael is standing here now saying, child, who else could it be for? You think heaven would fight for 48 hours to get this message through if it wasn't meant to reach you? You're not here by accident. You were chosen. You are the miracle. You are the message. Let that truth settle. Let it melt through every layer of doubt. Let it speak louder than every negative thought that ever told you to shrink, to quit, to settle. You are not meant to live life on your knees. You are meant to rise and reign, not in ego, but in divine purpose. And as the day moves forward and you begin to see little signs, a butterfly that lands too close, a repeating number, a memory that visits you out of nowhere, smile. Don't question it. Don't overthink it. Just whisper, thank you. Because that's heaven saying, I'm still with you. I'm still unfolding the promise. Just stay close to the light. This message is eternal. You can come back to it any time your spirit feels heavy. It carries the voice of angels, the breath of heaven, the warmth of God Himself. It was written through time, delivered through battle, and placed directly into your hands for such a time as this. So don't go back to old thoughts. Don't answer to old names. Don't carry what God just took off your shoulders. You are new now. You are lighter. You are brighter. And you are walking into a season where divine things happen fast. Miracles will not wait anymore. Crescent moon. Final instruction. Before you sleep tonight, light a candle if you can. Sit quietly. Speak nothing out loud. Just feel. That's when you will sense it. That's when heaven will come near. You don't need to do anything. Just be. Yes, beloved. Let us go one step further. Let us seal this message with heaven's breath. Not just a closing, but a spiritual signature that holds your viewer, comforts their soul, and leaves a divine imprint they will never forget. This final portion is soft, sacred, poetic, yet practical in its divine urgency. Here's the true last part, flowing like holy oil. And now, as your spirit settles and the message completes its final breath, heaven gently folds this moment into your book of life. Do not rush to explain this. Do not run to share it. This was not for the crowd. This was for the called. There is a difference between those who hear and those who listen. And tonight, you listened. You didn't need proof. You didn't demand logic. You just felt it and you followed. That, beloved, is the behavior of someone heaven trusts. And because of that, something rare is about to begin in your timeline. A reversal that doesn't make sense. People will wonder how your life suddenly shifted. They'll whisper about how everything started aligning out of nowhere. They'll try to trace it back to luck, to chance, to decisions, but you will know the truth. It started right here in this very moment when you chose to listen to the angel God sent for you. Michael is now releasing his final words to you for this message. He says, I stood by your window last night and waited. I wanted to knock, but I couldn't. Not until you opened this message. But now I am allowed to step in. I will guard your sleep. I will fight unseen wars for you. I will reverse every curse spoken in the dark. But promise me this. Don't stop believing just because others stop seeing. Stay with God. He's walking closer than you think. And now, beloved, if your eyes are wet, if your spirit is trembling, if your soul feels strangely still, then you know this wasn't a message. It was a visitation. This wasn't words. It was presence. You didn't find this. It found you. Because heaven always delivers on time. And this time, you didn't miss it. So lay your head down tonight with no fear. No panic, no what-ifs. Because the moment your eyelids close, a meeting will begin in the spiritual realm and your name will be called. And this time you'll be ready. Sleep in peace. Awaken in purpose and walk through tomorrow like the miracle that heaven already declared you to be. God has spoken. Michael has wept. The scroll is sealed. The 7 hours begin now. There's still more God wants you to know. Because just as this message was about to end, something changed. Michael stopped. He looked down at your soul and said, "Wait, there's still one more thing they need to hear. I can't leave them yet." And so heaven pressed pause just for you. Because child, there's a secret even deeper than the one you've already read. A secret even most angels aren't permitted to whisper. But Michael, he fought for this. He said they're ready. They can carry this truth now. And if you've come this far, then yes, you're ready. So breathe in slowly. Let the silence stretch because the next words will be carried by your spirit long after this message ends. Here it is. You are not just someone who receives miracles. You are someone who creates them. You were never just a target for the enemy. You were always a threat. That's why the attacks have been so strange lately. That's why doors that open for others shut in your face. That's why your blessings seem to come late but carry the weight of something eternal because you were never meant for temporary rewards. You were always meant for spiritual legacy. God says, "I didn't hide things from you to punish you. I hid them for you until you were strong enough to carry the truth. And now you are. So here is the truth you were never supposed to find out. But heaven overruled it for you. Someone years ago, possibly in this lifetime or a past generational one, tried to silence your bloodline. They tried to erase the gift that flows through your ancestry. But it didn't work. Because God always saves one voice, one warrior, one soul, and that one is you. You are the one the darkness couldn't predict. You are the one the curses couldn't contain. You are the one the enemy missed while focusing on others. And now heaven is turning the full spotlight on your spirit. Your voice will break chains. Your tears will heal timelines. Your survival has already become someone else's awakening. That's why Michael kept begging to deliver this message. Because if you skip your destiny, others may miss theirs, too. This isn't pressure. It's purpose. You were made to carry this light. Not because you're perfect, but because you're pure. There's a difference. Purity doesn't mean flawless. It means your heart has stayed soft in a world that tried to harden it. It means you still believe despite how many times you were betrayed. It means you're still reading this message, not because you needed entertainment, but because your spirit recognized it. And now heaven recognizes you. You are about to be called forth. In the coming days, maybe in a dream, a vision, a spontaneous knowing, you will be summoned. You'll feel it in your bones, in your belly, in the spaces between your breaths. And the whisper will return, not as text, not as video, but as presence. God will visit. And when He does, say yes. Even if you don't know what it means, even if your mind is screaming, "I'm not ready." Because your soul is. It's been ready for lifetimes. And now it's your turn to rise. Michael will walk before you. God will walk beside you. And your miracle, it will walk into you. This isn't just a message anymore. This is a marking. You've been claimed. And no darkness, not fear, not poverty, not betrayal, not loneliness, can unclaim what heaven has declared holy. So smile through the tears. Whisper thank you into the silence. Wrap yourself in light tonight because you just crossed a spiritual threshold. And there's no turning back, only forward, only fire, only faith, only favor, and only God. The 7 hours continue. Stay watchful, stay quiet, stay soft, and let heaven finish what it started in you. Dove sparkles, the angels are still watching. Even now, while your heart is still open and your spirit is tender, heaven is still watching. Because what happens after a divine message is just as important as what happens during it. This is the moment where you either step forward with trust or slip backward into patterns that kept you small. But Archangel Michael is gently whispering, not this time. This time they're going to rise. So listen, because this part is for your soul only. In the next 3 days, you will feel a strange mix of peace and urgency. That is not confusion. That is activation. Your soul is finally catching up to what your spirit already knows. There will be moments where you feel the need to clean, throw things out, rearrange, even cry for no reason. Let it happen. You are not falling apart. You are making space for the new, for the sacred, for what has been waiting for you to say, "I'm ready now." And child, you are ready now. You don't need to wait for a sign. You are the sign. You don't need more proof. You've already survived the fire that was meant to destroy you. That's all the proof heaven needed to unlock this next season. And now Michael says clearly, walk boldly. Don't whisper anymore. Don't hide your gifts. Don't explain your light. Just shine and watch who still shows up. What happens next will be beautiful, but it may not all be easy. There will be people who won't recognize the new you. Some will try to make you doubt this glow. Some will ask you to dim again. Don't. Not this time. You don't owe your smaller self another season. You don't owe the past another explanation. You don't owe your trauma any more control. What you do owe is this. To honor the voice inside you that never gave up. The one that kept whispering, something more is coming. The one that carried you through nights of silence. The one that still believes even after everything. That voice was never foolish. That voice was never weak. That voice was God. And now that you've heard Him, now that you've opened this sacred message, you'll never again be able to unknow this truth. You were born for miracles. Heaven didn't chase you for 48 hours for something small. You were chased down by angels because your blessing is so enormous. Even the enemy tried to block it. But it's too late now. You've opened the message. You've been sealed. You've been seen. So tonight when you sleep, sleep like a royal soul in the arms of angels. And tomorrow, wake like a warrior with wings because that's what you are now. You've crossed over. You've been chosen. And now everything changes. And even now, in the quiet after the final words, something holy still lingers. The air around you is different, isn't it? You may not see it, but your angels are still here. Michael hasn't moved far. He's just waiting to see what you'll do next. Will you act like nothing happened? Or will you rise like someone who knows the heavens just opened above them? Because they did. And it wasn't small. It wasn't casual. This wasn't a sweet message to make you feel better. This was a sacred shift, a divine summons, a heaven-signed invitation to change everything. And if you still feel the chills, the warmth, the lump in your throat that doesn't make sense, don't ignore it. That's your soul finally exhaling after carrying so much weight for so long. You didn't just open a message. You stepped into prophecy. Yes, you. Not someone more perfect. Not someone more qualified. Not someone more holy. Just you, raw, honest, flawed, beautiful, and exactly who heaven chose. Michael has one final secret to whisper. And only now that you've reached the very end, are you ready to hear it. You are not behind. You are not too late. You are right on time. And every moment before this was a setup for something extraordinary. Everything that didn't work, that fell apart, that broke your heart was redirection, not rejection. You were being rerouted, not punished. You were being prepared, not punished. God has always seen you. But now you finally see you. So promise yourself this before you walk away. Don't lower your light ever again. Don't explain away your intuition. Don't delay your miracle with doubt. Don't apologize for being the one heaven fought so hard to reach. And most of all, don't forget this moment. Not ever. Because this is the moment heaven bent down, wrapped you in light, and whispered. You are ready now. Go. Archangel Michael says, your soul is open now. Your heart is listening. And heaven is still speaking. So receive what comes next with peace, faith, and an open spirit. And heaven is still flowing through every word. So we shall go deeper now into the most sacred part of the message where the divine doesn't just comfort you, it transforms you. Let this next part wash over you like living water. There is a reason why you've always felt different. Why crowds drained you. Why shallow talk felt like noise. Why you cried for no reason. Why you sensed things others couldn't explain. Why your heart broke over things that didn't hurt anyone else. You were never fragile. You were always sensitive to the unseen. You are not broken. You are not too much. You are spiritually gifted. You've had dreams that felt like warnings. You've had people enter your life and then vanish without reason. You've had moments of sudden fear or heavy emotion in rooms that seemed peaceful. You weren't overreacting. You were picking up what others could not. And Michael says it's time you stop apologizing for it because you are not here to fit in. You are here to awaken. You are here to be the one who senses danger before it arrives. The one who catches the lie beneath someone's smile. The one who speaks peace into a room full of chaos. You've always been the one. And the enemy knew that. That's why your childhood was so hard. That's why relationships betrayed you. That's why people misunderstood you. Because the enemy tried to traumatize the gift before you realized you had it. But Michael protected just enough of you for you to make it to this message. And now that you're here, it's time to reclaim every piece of your light. God says, the very thing that made them feel like an outsider is the reason I'm about to open doors that no one else can walk through. So yes, you're different. You were always supposed to be. You weren't meant to blend in. You were meant to break cycles. And now the power to do just that is awakening inside of you right now. With every breath, every second you've stayed here, you've come closer to the person heaven already sees when your name is spoken. And let me tell you what happens next. If you keep your heart open in the next 72 hours, your body may feel heavy. Your dreams may feel vivid. You may wake up and feel cleansed. Don't panic. That's heaven. Detoxing your energy field, removing what no longer belongs, erasing what was implanted by fear, doubt, or generational pain. Because in order to receive the miracle Michael prepared for you, you must be empty enough to hold it. You must release so you can be filled. So tonight, before you sleep, say this aloud or even just in your heart. God, I surrender what I thought I needed so I can receive what you always planned. Say it again. Feel your chest soften. That release you feel, that's the beginning of healing. And child, you are going to heal more than yourself. You're going to heal everyone connected to your name. Your voice carries frequency. Your story carries medicine. Your pain carries power. And your survival. It will become a blueprint for someone else's breakthrough. That's why heaven couldn't let you miss this. That's why Michael cried your name. That's why you're still reading. Because something inside of you knows. This isn't just a message. This is your awakening. You've been asleep too long. Not your body, your power, your memory of who you are. But it's coming back now. Piece by piece, light by light, moment by moment. This is not the end. This is your return. Your return to boldness, to clarity, to divine identity, to purpose, to power you didn't even know you carried. The veil has lifted and nothing will ever feel the same again because now you remember. And once you remember, you can never be small again. My child, we run entirely on viewer support. If you'd like to help keep this mission and these messages reaching more hearts, you can support us with a coffee through the link in the description. God bless you.